everybody, I'm Chris and I like to play with water. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to take your Exo Terra background and make it a little more naturalistic looking. So sit back and enjoy, and if you like the content of this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Okay, so here's the basic tools we're going to need to make our background. You're going to need GE 100% silicone. I use silicone 1. Now you don't want anything that has mold inhibitors or anything like that, because that can affect the well-being of your critters that you're putting in. Obviously a silicone gun. Gloves so you don't get silicone all over your hands. And a razor blade so that we can score up the background so that the silicone sticks better to it. Alright, so I'm going to be scoring this up for the silicone to stick a little better. Now, this channel and this channel I'm going to leave alone just because I like that little bit of valley and contrast. So all these raised parts is where I want to add our cocoa fiber and sphagnum moss unit. Okay, so my gloves are on, and now we're going to apply silicone over all the spots that we previously scored up with our knife. Here you can see I'm applying silicone quite liberally over all the spots that we scored up. You want to have a good base to start smearing around. You can always smear some more afterwards if you don't feel you have enough. Start spreading. Okay, so this is probably the least enjoyable part of the process, is actually spreading the silicone by hand. It's pretty easy. The only problem is the fumes that come off of the silicone while you're spreading it are pretty strong. So I definitely recommend doing this in a well-ventilated place. That's why I'm doing it in my garage, not to stink up the whole house. Now, like I mentioned before, those lines that almost kind of look like rock, I'm leaving exposed. So I'm paying attention not to spread silicone into those spots. Okay, now that the silicone is spread over our background, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some dried cocoa fiber and sphagnum moss into a blend to apply to the background. Now, it's very important that what you're putting on to the silicone is completely dry. If it's not dry and there's any moisture in there, it's going to prematurely cause the silicone to cure, and you don't want that. You want a nice bond between your material and the silicone. With our blend mixed up, we're going to spread it all over the entire background. Once it's on there, you're going to press it into the silicone to really get it smashed in there nicely so it sticks. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tip up the whole background and shake it off just to get all the loose parts off. This will give you an idea if there's any spots you want to go back and re-silicone and apply more cocoa fiber. I have to say, I think on my first try, I'm pretty happy with my spread of silicone and cocoa fiber. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply a little extra to the sides here to show you what you would do if you felt you didn't get the coverage you really wanted. It's pretty much the same exact process you did in the first place when initially laying down the silicone. Put a dab on there, spread it around a little bit, and press cocoa fiber into it. Now we'll let that cure. Alright, now that we've knocked off the rest of the loose silicone, I'm happy with how it came out. You can see I kind of left those little valleys in there. I just like how the contrast of the dark gray looks against our cocoa fiber. So now we're just going to let it sit for at least 24 hours before we put it into our enclosure. Now that's fully cured, we can put it in the terrarium and see how it looks. It's definitely a lot more natural than just the bare background that came with this tank. I did the same exact thing when I made the background for our Mossy Tree Vivarium. We'll put a link in the description if you want to check out that video. And that's how you do it. Pretty straightforward and simple, right? So, I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you liked what you saw, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. So hopefully get to see you in the next video. Check you then.